Battlefield 1 tips and tricks to lead your team to victory. Number 1. Play the objective, otherwise known as PTFO. Play the fucking objective. Playing the objective is without doubt the most important thing you can do in any Battlefield game, let alone Battlefield 1. It's heavily incentivized, meaning that even if you lose or your KD ratio suffers horribly, you still receive a whopping amount of experience and war bonds for actually trying to win the game, rather than trying to get the prettiest headshots or the most kills. Play the fucking objective. Number 2. Play with your squad. The point here is kind of twofold. First, you want to actually form a squad. Ta-da! Ideally with friends, in a party with voice chat. Second, regardless of whether you're with friends or not, you'll want to stick with your squad. A balanced group of players, especially when evenly split between assault, medic and support classes, can hold off swathes of enemies with a bit of good positioning and communication. Battlefield is the antithesis of a lone wolf game, so party up boys. Number 3, positioning is key. As we touched on above, your positioning is also crucial in Battlefield. Regardless of the class you play, assaults will be terrible at long range, thanks to the wide spread of the SMGs and shotguns, while scouts will, of course, have a horrible time up close, and seriously excel when pointed at a choke point on a map like Argonne Forest. Get creative with your positioning and flanking, and keep experimenting until you find a spot that really works. Number 4, adapt to the battle around you. Speaking of finding a spot, just because you've found a good one doesn't mean you should keep heading back into battle shifts and suddenly find it hard to attack or defend. Be aware of the changes going on in game. Reinforcements, behemoths, destructible buildings, sector captures and losses, or just a simple shift in the opposition's tactics can be enough to completely disrupt your own plans. Keep a constant eye on the map, the objectives and your teammates, and be prepared to rip up the plan and start again. Number 5. Beginners should warm up with some classic team deathmatch. Battlefield plays surprisingly different to other shooters, and Battlefield 1 is certainly no different there. Accuracy is generally far lower, gameplay far slower, and vehicles completely game changing. If you're looking to get acclimatised to it for the first time, and I wouldn't blame you for being somewhat tentative, I recommend you use the Assault class, which is the closest to a standard close to medium range shooter on Team Deathmatch. A full scale game of Conquest on a huge map with all the vehicles and planes is incredible, but also horribly difficult if you're not used to it. Trust me, I've been there a lot. Number 6, vehicles can win you a game. Vehicles, being such a Battlefield staple, are rightly important in Battlefield 1. The relationship between infantry, tanks and aircraft make for a fascinating game of rock, paper, scissors. Dominance of the air means freedom for your bombers to attack ground units and tanks. But in order to earn that air superiority, you need to have to sacrifice bombing potential and go for fighters other than air-to-air combat ships. Likewise, a fully manned 6-person heavy tank can, well, when positioned properly, take a hold of a point for an entire game. Be prepared to sacrifice some anti-infantry potential and focus on taking down that pesky tank, rather than carry on sniping from a safe distance, as ignoring vehicles will almost certainly result in defeat. Well, there you go, a selection of tips for playing Battlefield 1. Some of them obviously you either do or you've heard before, but I do hope you've enjoyed it. And if you did, please subscribe, give us a like. This is Mr. Devlin signing off.